Welcome back, everyone. We are here with our Aether Revolt set review, and in this video, we're going to be going through all of the blue cards. I am once again joined by my two friends, Anthony,
Hey guys.
and we've got Aaron.
Hey guys, good to be back.
All right, so we're going to be going through our blue cards once again. We have our own personal sort of focuses towards limited, and then we'll throw in some other random nonsense as we go along, mostly from Aaron.
Yep.
I do try my best.
All right. Let's get straight into it with our first card, which is the Aether Swooper. So the Aether Swooper is a 2-mana 1/2. It's again part of the Aether something cycle. When it enters, you get 2 energy, and when it attacks, you can pay that energy and get a server artifact. I'm not really liking this card at all. I think this is pretty janky, unless you really need the energy sort of stuff, or you have a lot of energy. If you're a big energy deck, you could possibly use it, but a Flying Man by itself, really not very good.
Camilla will like it.
Yeah, Camilla loves good Flying Man.
But yeah, I'm with you. Unless you're making a lot of energy, I don't see this card being very good.
Could link in nicely with some of the Kaladesh cards. There are some like the Thopter Assembler guys, the red-blue guy, but
Yeah.
you don't know you're going to get that until pack 3. So.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move along.
Yeah.
Something a bit better. Aethertide Whale. 4 blue for a 6/4 whale creature with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 energy, and you can pay 4 energy to return it to its owner's hand. Wow.
This is pretty good.
Yeah, so it's like a big finisher that will kill your opponent quickly, and it can protect itself. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So, I like how they've now added on there that we've got 6 energy and then in brackets 6 energy counters, so you don't actually have to do the count, which was quite annoying in the first set where they didn't have that.
Yeah. But this thing is really sweet, actually, for limited. It's going to beat all the enchantment removal. And
Just
yeah.
beats removal.
Yeah, it's just, my god, so good.
Great card.
Yeah. By the second time you've actually cast it, you've got enough to activate it twice, so at that point your opponent can't even like try and sneak on an enchantment and then exile at response.
Yeah.
It's just a 6/4, 6 power for 6 mana in the air is a whole lot of damage.
You can also have Pseudo Vigilance the turn after you play it. If you have nothing else to do, you attack, pick it up, put it back down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Triggers your revolt as well.
Oh, yeah, of course. Alright. Oh, here's one.
Alright, to the collective groan of many, many Commander players, this is Barrel, Chief of Compliance. So Barrel over the top of his background. He is a legendary creature human wizard. He is a 1/3, and he makes instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less. So you get to have all your instant sorceries a little bit cheaper. And the other part that people will be more annoyed about is that whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, you may loot. So draw a card and then discard. So this is the mono blue counter spells deck for Commander.
I'm not playing
It's
against the people
basically
that
where
play
it's
this. I'm just not playing. I'm just going to
Apparently,
concede.
you won't be playing against me. I don't actually want to build this as my commander, but I do have a Minamo Historian deck who loves instant sorcery spells being cheaper, and the counter spell thing is sort of a bonus. So I can see this getting into that deck. I can see a lot of people building around it because there are some terrible EDH players who will put this and every counter spell they can find into a deck. For limited though, is this a playable card in limited?
Unfortunately, I imagine probably not.
If
2
you,
mana 1/3 is okay, but it does just seem like just that.
yeah, I'm not excited about this. I'll play it if I have to, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But
Bit of a filler.
yeah,
There you go. So
But awesome flavor.
awesome flavor.
Yeah.
Sweet commander.
He seems
not
like
doing anything else.
he seems like he should have more power though. Like in terms of, like just the character from what I've heard of him. But I don't know, he's a 1/3. Fair enough.
He's
Alright.
terribly burned.
Yes, Chandra did a number on him. Okay, so Baral's Expertise. The second one in the expertise cycle. 3 blue for a sorcery. Return up to 3 target artifacts and or creatures to their owner's hand, and you may cast a card with converted mana cost 4 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Super. I don't know if it'll get there in standard, but this is bomb in limited, I reckon. There's just huge advantage in this. Tempo advantage in this card.
Yeah, great card for limited. You definitely want to be playing this in your blue decks. And the fact that you just get a 4 mana spell, bounce 3 things, get a 4 mana spell.
Yeah.
A couple of interesting aspects is you can bounce one of your own things and replay it immediately with the second half. It's a mana cost 4 or less thing. So if you just want to give something vigilance or trigger revolt or that sort of thing, you can even trigger revolt on something that has revolt a lot of the times because something will have left and then you playing it again.
Yeah.
Like on the Flicker Cat. I find it interesting that they decided to make Baral a dude who triggers off counterspells, and then they made Baral's expertise not a counterspell. I think that was an interesting decision.
I think the really main reason for that is all of the expertise are sorceries, and that's really important because being able to instant speed in with that second ability, because they're all pay something for free, that would make them really, really broken. The fact that they're sorceries are the only thing keeping them in check. You don't mind, but I think anyone who wants to actually cast that spell might mind.
Well, maybe they should be playing Mono Red Burn. I don't care.
Yeah, well, you could have a mono blue. You could have 1 blue counter spell. That's a sorcery.
No, but he bounces everything back so that you can counter it the next turn.
You're not allowed to play with the deck for all. If you do, you are an abomination.
All right.
But I think this could be really good. This could see standard play. I think if there is a control deck, particularly a Planeswalker control deck, you can put, you can bounce your opponent's board, and you're putting in Tezzeret or Dovin or Gideon off of this.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of sweet things in blue-white or blue-black you can do with this card.
Yeah.
Dude kind of looks like Jafar from Aladdin as well. Another Flavor Veil.
All right.
Indian set.
Yeah. All right. Let's continue on. Next card is Bastion Inventor. 5 and a blue for a Vidalcan Artificer. 4/4. It has Improvise. I think this is our first instance of that. And that is your artifacts can help you cast a spell. Each artifact you tap after you're done activating mana abilities pays for 1. So that's a bit wordy, but in essence, it is Convoke for artifacts. So you just tap your artifact and that adds 1 to the cost.
He also has Hexproof, so it can't be targeted by your opponents, which is nice. So Improvise is a bit weird and, as I said, wordy. The main idea and the reason it's so wordy is that it has to be that way so you can't use mana artifacts and mana rocks more than once. So you can only use your Soul Ring to tap for 2 mana or tap it for 1 as part of the Improvise.
Yeah.
You can't do both. But this is an okay limited card if you need a finisher. This is like a 4/4 hexproof. It's going to be hard to get rid of, but not really interested in this common.
Yeah. This is a cool card. Disallow. 1 blue for an instant. Counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. But if you have Baral, it's only blue.
Yeah, and because Void Slime needed to be better.
It did. Well,
so Void Slime, for those who are not playing Ravnica or don't know, it was exactly the same card, except instead of 1 generic mana, you had to pay green and 2 blue. So now you can put it in any mono blue decks. And this card, if anything, is going to bring control to the forefront if it gets there.
Yeah, this card is so cool. It's going to stop the half of Emrakul that hurts you the most. It's going to stop. It stops everything. It's so flexible. So that's exactly what you want in a control card. So
excellent control card.
Yeah.
Probably don't play it in limited. If you want cancel, like I would play a cancel, but I'm not worried about picking it up early.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, at least they put Baral on the damn card. And gave him a quote.
Yes.
Yep.
This
looks
like
like
be called Baral's expertise. Maybe they should switch the names or something. I'm not sure.
No, they want to reprint it at some point, so they can't put his name on it. All right. Next one is Dispersal Technician. 4 and a blue for a 3/2 Vidalcan Artificer. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target artifact to its owner's hand. This isn't that great.
The stats are pretty terrible. 5
Yeah.
mana 3/2 on the ground, and the ability is not really enough to make up for the extra money you're paying.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be playing much of these unless there's something you really, unless you're desperate for 5 drops. But even then, just play a 3-drop, you'll get the same stats.
Bring it out of the sideboard if your opponent has some really good artifacts. If they've opened a bomb artifact and you need to just slow it down, sometimes this will be good enough to give you time. But
yeah,
even then, it's not good at that job.
yeah. Next one. This is a cool card, and I want to play this in Commander. Efficient Construction. 3 and a blue for an enchantment. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. Breya! Yes!
Breya is loving this.
She's loving this whole set, really, but this in particular I want to play with. I'm looking forward to grabbing this card.
I don't like the name of this, Efficient Construction. So basically, you're putting together an artifact and something else is happening as well. That doesn't seem efficient to me. That's wasting resources building something you didn't intend to make in the first place.
No, you're making it from the waste
That's not
product.
efficiency. Waste product. There should be no waste product. Get more efficient.
Well, there isn't, because now it's a Thopter. Which you're going to sack to burn people and gain life and kill creatures. No, I love this card.
Breya, loving that.
But I don't think it's very good in Limited. No.
No, limited. Bad. Even a constructed standard, I can't see
Yeah, no.
this being in any sort of constructed format.
Yeah, it's
Other than
quite
Commander.
simple for 4 mana.
Alright, next one. Next one's
It's Land Drake. This is a pretty bland common again. It's a Wind Drake, but it has an extra toughness, so it's a 2/3 for 3 mana flying. And to make up for the fact that it has an extra toughness, it can't block artifact creatures.
Boo.
So it's probably not going to do a lot of artifact creature blocking anyway. You're looking at like maybe some Thopters you might want to block or that sort of thing. This is mostly just another Wind Drake.
Yep. I treat it like a Windrake, but with a downside, which is not great. So, carry on. Ice Over. 1 and a blue for an aura, enchant, artifact, or creature. The permanent doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. I feel like we've seen this card before. Is this a reprint?
Not a reprint, no, but it's similar to. I mean, it's a pretty standard blue removal spell. It doesn't actually tap the thing, but it can turn off vehicles. This is sort of a variation on this effect that's been seen a million times. It keeps a thing tapped, which is okay. It doesn't tap it, so you need to be aware of that. And it can get vehicles, which is the main one. It can enchant an artifact.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm not too high on this card though. The fact that it doesn't tap.
You're gonna play it when you're in blue.
Yeah.
Because you need the removal, but it's not great.
Yeah. Okay. It feels bad, but you'll play it. Yeah.
The Illusionist Stratagem is one that probably feels really good when you play it, but is not that great. Exile 2 target creatures you control and return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control and draw a card. So that's a 4 mana instant for that effect. I can see a lot of fun things happening here where you've attacked in and you blink your guys to block or dodging a removal and doing a lot of interesting things. We've seen some...
Cloud Blazer.
Cloud Blazers, absolutely, yeah. Flickerings. I can see myself probably putting this one of in a blue deck, but don't want to play a lot of them.
Yeah, you'd have to have really good payoff enter the battlefield abilities, I think. I can't see it being that great. Yeah, alright, that's it.
Seems like a bit of fun, but not great.
We'll leave it for Dust. Leaving the Dust is our next card. 3 and a blue for an instant. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Draw a card. So unsummon, draw a card. No, boomerang, draw a card.
Boomerang, draw a card. Yeah. And similar to Illusionist Stratagem, you're blinking things, bouncing things. It's blue doing blue, really. It's just what it does.
Yeah. This is probably a good card. What do you think?
I can see myself playing it.
You don't seem
the
too
fact
confident.
that it replaces it. Well, it's okay. I was really high on Aether Trade Winds. and that never really did very as much as I thought. So I'm a bit less keen on Leaf in the Dust. It's just a bounce, and the fact that it draws a card is nice, but 4 mana is a lot. If that was maybe 1 less, I'd be a lot happier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's okay. If it's common, I think you're going to be playing this often, so...
You definitely hurt your opponent if they're hanging on combat tricks or they're counting on a big vehicle getting through and they commit guys to crewing it, then I suppose it hurts them quite badly.
Yeah. All right.
But more of a tempo card than actually fixing your problem.
Yeah. Well, it draws a card, so it gives you time. All right.
And maybe to be aware, if you do bounce something during your opponent's turn, you can activate their own revolts.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Which maybe makes it even worse.
Alright, so the next one is a blue mythic. Mechanized Production. 2 blue for an enchantment aura. Enchant an artifact you control. So not a creature, just an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of enchanted artifact. Then if you control 8 or more artifacts with the same name as one another, you win the game.
Hey, does Breya like this one?
Thopters for days, yeah. I reckon. I'm not going to play it, but because I don't like these kind of effects, I guess. But
Not a fan of the alternate win conditions?
No, not really. I just like doing crazy stuff. So, and it does help you do crazy stuff. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's not my cup of tea. I know that there are some people on the Facebook page that are really into this card, but yeah, I don't like the alternate win.
Do you
They feel
play
bad.
in limited?
No.
You got to enchant your own thing, and then you get a copy. You'd only really want it if you had a bomb, and even then you've got to draw both of them in the particular order, and it's just it'll get stranded in your hand, and then it's not great for limited. Yeah.
This is not a limited card. I think most of the mythics in this set have done a really good job of being mythics. They're big, flashy, powerful things, but they're not really competitively driven. They're old school mythic,
including the planeswalkers.
Cool. So we actually just put this on Mindslaver, and then you
put this on Mindslaver. You put this on something silly. I don't think if you ignore the you win the game part, you can put this on some silly artifacts and just get a copy of it each turn and use it.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of that. Metallic Rebuke. 2 and a blue for an instant. It has Improvise, and you counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. So, Mana Leak.
Not bad.
It's almost Mana Leak, yeah. And Mana Leak is a decent card. I mean, he's playing modern, so Mana Leak's effect is very good. But this one being 3 mana, if there is a control deck in Standard, you're probably going to see a couple of these. There's a blue-black sort of artifacty control deck, especially. There's a lot of blue-black artifact stuff. The whole Improvise mechanic. I could see this getting play.
Is this better than Disallow, though?
It's not better than Disallow.
I'd say it's just worse.
It can be played alongside it because you can play it earlier. You can play this on turn 2 if you have a turn 1 artifact.
Okay. Are there any turn 1 artifacts that you'd play?
I haven't seen any yet, but there's still time. Have a look.
Yeah, the thing that was... Sorry, go.
I was going to say, obviously, cost reduction is just one of the most powerful effects in Magic, so you just got to be careful of that 1 blue mana that your opponent has up. Be aware of the number of artifacts they have. But, yeah, I think it actually seems like it'd be really nice to play as a common.
Yeah, be aware of this having 1 blue mana up in limited.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big fan of having a single counter spell usually in my blue decks in limited, if not more. So this will come up more often in limited than Disallow will.
Yeah.
And I'd love to catch my opponent out on a greedy play or slamming their Gear Hulk on curve, and you just happen to have Metallic Rebuke in hand for a single blue.
Yeah, that'll feel bad. Anyway, let's move on. Good old Negate.
Hey, look, Negate's back.
Okay, we all know what this is. Move on. Quicksmith Spy. 3 and a blue for a human artificer 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, target artifact you control gains tap, draw a card for as long as you control Quicksmith Spy. This card is bonkers in limited.
So good. Such a sweet card. Because you're going to have an artifact. You just go, hey, that's Servo. Now draws me a card every turn.
Yeah. This card's great. Can't fault it.
Any of the implements, there's a cycle of implements that are cheap. Like 1 and 2.
Are those the
artifacts.
they're the super cheap ones that have like an enter the battlefield and a sack effect?
They have a sack effect and they all draw a card when they die.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'd much rather put it on a non-creature card because then it makes it even harder. I suppose the Quicksmith can die, but yeah.
Yeah.
If your opponent doesn't have removal, you're going to be laughing so hard.
Yeah, this card
As you
is...
just draw 2 cards every turn basically for free.
Yeah, I would even splash this card. This card is so good.
Yeah, that good?
Yeah, I reckon. It
Yeah,
will win you
definitely.
games that you would lose, I reckon. Just with the amount of card draw
You
you
heard
get.
it, folks.
Do it.
Card draw is good.
Shut up, Baron.
Excellent.
Okay,
And
what
on
if...
the subject, reverse engineer. See, I knew this was coming. Not. 3 blue for a sorcery with improvise and draw 3 cards. So I heard 2 blue for 3 cards is really good.
You're tapping 3 artifacts to do that.
This is so close to Ancestral Recall, it's not funny.
Is it?
Obviously, improvise is much different to previous cost reduction effects. The most recent one that was obviously very dangerous was Delve. And improvise is not Delve, you are committing resources that are actually in play, where Delve was like, you got to recycle stuff. So I don't think this is anywhere near that good. But still seems good for limited.
Yeah, this is good. In limited.
I'm gonna go bold here. I'm gonna say this card you are going to see in Modern Affinity. This is Thoughtcast, almost Thoughtcast. It's not as good as Thoughtcast because it's not Affinity, but I would see 1 or 2 of these in Modern Affinity because you just dump your hand, and then you refill with 3 more cards.
Is Thoughtcast banned?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I did.
believe
I did.
Thoughtcast, and I'm gonna
I don't know Modern that well, but you wouldn't play it over
I'm
Thoughtcast.
gonna double check that. No, it's not banned. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not. It is legal in Modern, so you can play Thoughtcast. I think this is, but Thoughtcast draws 2 as opposed to this drawing 3.
Double Blue's a bit tough on Affinity, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But they have their Mox Opals. They have the
For
Glimmer
now.
Void. They have a new land that's coming out.
Yep.
That taps for any mana, and they have the Springleaf Drum. So there are ways to do it.
Tapping a Mox Opal is actually just committing mana. It's like, that doesn't really improvise.
No, but it gives you the blue. You can get blue.
It does, but it's not really reducing its mana cost at all. I'm just saying.
That's fine. You've got Thopters, Ornithopters, and Memnots and stuff like that.
So what we're hearing
I'm
is
saying one or
that
two of
Brett's
these.
crazy and this is not happening.
Okay.
Prove me wrong.
Unlimited is still good.
Prove me wrong.
We need something like
I'm
a
gonna
pie
start
bet.
playing
All right.
Honestly, even if this was a 5 mana draw 3 card sorcery, I'd probably still just play it in limited as a one-off. I'd be so happy to.
Yeah,
But
there's a
at
similar
4
card
or,
to it.
4, 3, or 2 mana, it's not even really a question at that point. You just kind of have to play it.
Yeah, I think you play this. I don't think you pick it over the really good uncommons, but if you're in blue and you see this like 4th pick or something, you just snap it up.
Yep.
All right. Another uncommon, Savage Scuttler. Oh, that looks weird. What is going on there? Oh yeah, it's a crab with like a
Crab.
thing, some metal on it. Okay, so 4 and a blue for a 4/4 crab. When it attacks, draw an artifact you control. Return an artifact you control to its owner's hand. So downside, potentially.
Possible downside, you might be able to find a way to do it, but this is sort of a very common big blue creature. They're always 5 mana 4/4s that have some downside to attack.
Yeah.
Punt Crab was the most recent one.
Punt crab, yeah. Oh, jeez, that's still around. But this one does trigger your revolt, right? So this could be good.
If Revolt is something you want to do,
Yeah.
I'm not loving this card.
Yeah.
Not really interested.
Yeah.
I'm going to ignore it until it kills me a lot.
There's some combo-ish stuff,
Uh,
but I don't think it's very good either.
Yeah, so does it just not have to return anything if you don't have an artifact? It can actually just attack?
Yes.
Good question.
I'm pretty sure because I don't think this doesn't say it can only attack if you have an artifact. It just says that you do return one. So
That
I'm
is a
pretty sure
very good point.
it has to attack for that to happen. So at that point, it is already committed to attacking. So it can actually just attack. That's not.
Yeah.
Actually,
it
that-
doesn't stop it from going to combat.
So this is a better card than we thought.
That probably pushes it up a point, yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a 5-mana 4/4. In blue, that's good, but on the grand scale, it's not amazing.
Yeah, you just want to combo with this thing, and you'll know when you want it. When you got a bunch of artifacts that have enter the battlefield triggers and stuff like that. So don't play it with a lot of servos because you'll lose them. All right, next one is what we expect from blue. 1 and a blue for a 0/4 Vidalcan Rogue. It has flash though, so that's pretty cool. And when it blocks, you get an energy, and then you can pay 3 energy to draw a card. Wow, this is pretty powerful.
Seems awesome.
Yeah, this is really interesting. If you've got some energy lying around, this is just going to draw your cards. And it's a flash blocker.
Oh yeah, flash blocker. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So you should
Yep.
be able to get that 1 energy pretty easily. After that, your opponent's not going to just throw creatures into it as much.
But that means they're not attacking, so that's usually good for a blue deck.
Yeah, good card. I'm definitely happy to play this one. You pick it up pretty early.
Cool.
Yeah, it seems really fun. Shipwreck Moray. 4 mana, 3 and a blue. It's a fish. It is an 0/5. But when Shipwreck Moray enters the battlefield, you get 4 energy, and you may pay 1 to give it +2, -2 until end of turn. So it becomes a 2/3, and then a 4/1.
Good mathing.
Yeah,
Can be 4/1. Well
Um,
mathed out.
make sure I get that right.
this
It's a common.
You're not excited to play this card, but sometimes if you need a 4-drop, you'll play it. Your high energy decks, play it.
Yeah, I think this is fine. Again, it's sort of got that option of you attack with the threat of activation, so you can do up to 4 damage with it if your opponent is not interested in blocking. It makes blocking a little bit awkward for your opponent because you have the ability to scale how much damage it's going to do and how much toughness it has.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
Yeah,
fine
I mean,
card. Just be
Worst
careful.
case scenario, just play it on defense, and then you may actually want that energy for something else.
But
But there
not
are
exciting.
most certainly better 4 mana cards.
Alright, next one. Skyship
Heather.
Plunderer. This is pretty cool. Space pirate. Oh, not kind of space pirates, but close enough. Oh, it's actually human pirate. Have we
It is
had
a human
pirates?
pirate.
Have we had pirates before?
We have had some pirates, yes,
Oh, okay. That's really cool.
in the history of Magic. Back during the Weatherlight saga, that was all about pirates.
Ah,
And there are a
okay.
few pirate ships which are called pirates, but we won't get into that.
Okay.
Specifically, pirate ship.
Okay, so 1 and a blue, 2/1 flyer, so that's pretty cool. When it deals combat damage to a player, for each kind of counter on target permanent or player, give that permanent or player another counter of that kind. So it's got an upside. It's a 2/1 flying, uncommon, with an upside, which is, what is it? Proliferate.
It's a bit better than Proliferate because it actually just doubles. So it doubles the counters on any permanent or player, and it doubles all of them. So unlike
it doesn't
Proliferate, where you
double.
get to add, it's
That's
for
just-
each.
For
Oh, yeah,
each
it doesn't-
different kind.
Okay,
So not for
Yep.
each counter.
right. Yes. Sorry, I misread
So
that
if you
one.
have one, I believe if you have 1 energy and 1 poison, you could give yourself 1 energy and 1 poison.
Well, you would have
No,
to.
you have to. You have to.
You would have to
Oh.
give yourself an energy and a poison. So for each counter on whatever it is that you choose, it gets another one.
Yep.
Unlike Proliferate, where you get to choose lots of things and they all get one kind of counter, they get
Yeah.
one more counter. So it's a little bit different to Proliferate, but if functionally it's going to be very similar.
Yeah, this
But
card
you
is
do
so good.
pick only a single permanent or player.
Yeah,
That is the. Oh, this is good. There's plenty of 1/1 counters running around in this format. There's plenty of energy counters running around, and as you said, it's a 2/1 flyer with upside. So
yeah, this
pick
card,
up plenty of good card.
this card's absurd.
I
Yeah,
cannot
take it.
express the number of times that I have died because I have just either not drawn a flyer, not drawn removal, or I haven't got a flyer and my opponent's just bounced it a couple of times or tapped it down or removed it. Specifically, Eldrazi, when we had the 3-mana 2/1 that made an Eldrazi, that super consistent flyer.
Yeah,
If this thing comes down on turn 2, oh my god, it's going to be so annoying.
yeah, this card's super good.
And then, could that actually, just a question, is this card potentially good enough for standard play? You were saying earlier there's a lot of 3-mana Planeswalkers. I can imagine nothing sweeter than the taste of going Skyship Plunderer, drop a Planeswalker. I'm not sure what the color combinations are like, but being able to just tick up your Planeswalker every turn.
Most of the planeswalkers around that area don't play well with blue, and most of the blue planeswalkers are playing control, so you don't really want Skyship Plunderer.
Blue-white aggro.
So I don't think this would fit into that sort of thing. The blue-white aggro deck doesn't exist, because Yahenni's expertise exists.
Yeah, but
It's just...
I'm just brainstorming here. So what you do is you play Gideon pre-combat, you attack with this, and then put an extra counter on it, and then you ultimate.
Okay.
So you're ultimating the turn that comes down, and he gets to stay alive for the next turn. That's really cool.
That's okay. Yeah,
And also, if you go blue-green, and I know that's not really a color combination at the moment, but you play Nissa on turn 3, give this guy a +1/+1 counter, and then give him another +1/+1 counter. Then he's a 4/3 on turn 3. That's crazy.
It's pretty cool. I'm
There's some things.
I'm pretty excited by this card. Another card that we will cover later, there is a really sweet flying vehicle that we'll come across.
Okay.
I was thinking, if I was going to brew something, maybe I'd brew like a blue flyers deck, sort of like a tempo deck.
That's what there is now.
Super cool
What
card.
definitely won't happen is this creature getting shocked immediately. That's unlikely.
He will likely get shot, caught in the wind turbines as he jumps between ships.
All right.
No capes.
Alright. Spent plenty of time about that silly card. Here's another one. Take into custody. Tap a creature. It doesn't untap. For 1 blue. It's okay. I generally am happy with this effect, but it's nothing I'm really seeking. So
Yeah, I get
you'll
that.
play
I
it if
use
you
this
really want
to get
card.
stuff out of the way of my pirate.
Yeah, I get the impression that blue's very tempo-y. I know it usually is, but even more so than in Kaladesh. They want to just tap things down, push things out of the way, and they've got some early beaters, so that's something to watch out for.
And I suppose it's the same for every color, but everyone benefits from the fact that there are so many colors cards. Like, it makes the pool of blue cards, other cards as well, just makes your pool of stuff bigger. So blue has more options, I guess, for actually getting creatures into a deck.
Yeah.
Where usually blue would have more instants and sorceries.
Alright, let's move on
So
from
the
that
next one is probably one we're going to come back to a lot. This is Trophy Mage. This is 3 mana 2/2. It sort of fits between Treasure Mage and Trinket Mage in the world. And
Okay.
so when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost 3. Not less than 3, exactly 3. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So this goes and fetches sort of Fire and Ice and Feast and Famine.
All the
Goes
sorts.
and fetches Scrap Trawler. Yeah, so this is going to fetch a few things. I think Eternal formats are going to have a bit of a look at that. Cubes are probably going to see a lot of this.
Yes, they are.
It's a fun card for Cube. But for our purposes in Limited and Standard, you're probably not going to see a lot of this guy.
Yeah. Renegade Freighter.
Yeah, you can go get a train
I'm just trying to think.
or a vehicle.
Yeah, if you don't have any good targets, you probably don't want to play this card.
So as we go through the artifacts a bit later on, keep an eye out for converted mana cost 3, because those are things that Trophy Mage can get.
Yeah.
And if you have them in your deck, maybe you play Trophy Mage.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Tell us about it, Aaron.
So I only saw this today, and I was pretty shocked that this was the thing. So Whir of Invention. It is X and triple blue. So pretty costly to begin with. Solid. That's a lot of solid blue. Probably going to be playing monocolored here. Instant with Improvise, so we can reduce this ridiculous cost that it has. But you get to search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost X or less, and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So, tutoring is really good. Cost reduction is really good. Tutoring and getting the spell into play is even better. So this is good, I think. It seems, at the very least, it's cool. I'm going to play this in Commander, regardless. It's awesome. It's so good. If it could get Waste Not, would probably be better. But it's got to be good, right? It's awesome. I love it.
It's
This
splashy.
is a really cool card. This is a really cool
It's not
card.
Court of Calling. We'll clarify that immediately. It's not Court of Calling, but it is good.
It's
It
kind
seems
of Court of Call. Oh, yeah, okay, you can't do the green. As in, you can't reduce the blue, but...
Yeah, Court of Calling can effectively cost nothing, and creatures are much more abundant than artifacts are.
in an artifact deck? I don't know.
This is the pinnacle of cool spell, not good spell.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a lot of fun with this card, and if you have a bomb artifact in your deck, I would consider putting this in your limited deck as a second copy of that. If you've got some bomb artifact you want to find that'll win the game.
But you better have
yeah,
other
this
artifacts.
is a lot of fun.
I think maybe that's the case in Standard, but I probably wouldn't be. I probably don't know if I'd be looking to play this in limited. I don't think I would.
I wouldn't.
Like you're not gonna have a lot of options. Standard maybe, but the cool thing about tutor cards like this, and what makes them so notoriously good, is you can run more tutors and less of other cards, so it gives you more options. So you can run a lot of one-offs. So if my opponent's playing something and I need a Pithing Needle in a pinch, I can just tap one of my dudes, pay 3 mana, get my Pithing Needle, and counter that play. And yeah, just gives you some pretty sweet options.
Yeah. Cool for Commander, but not really otherwise.
I was just super excited about that card. I apologize.
That's
It's probably not as good as I want it to be.
Windkin Raiders, 4 blue, human artificer, 4/3, has improvise, so you can use your artifacts to make it cheaper, and it has flying. So that's if you can make it, 3 or 4 mana card, it's pretty good.
Decent uncommon. I'd be happy to have one of these in my deck.
Yeah, but otherwise,
I was
it's pretty
getting
straightforward.
excited about a limited card.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Alright, so that's all the blue cards. Now we have some multicolored cards. And the first up is our Spire Patrol. So Spire Patrol, this guy is a 4 mana 3/2 flyer. That's 2 blue and a white. And when it enters the battlefield, you tap target creature and opponent controls. That creature does not tap during its controller's next untap step. So again, similar to our green white sort of guy, this is sort of fine. I would say I would play this if I'm in blue and white, but I'm not seeking this out to become blue and white.
Yeah, agreed. Card's cool though, and blue-white seems it's always got the aggressive flyer angle, so yeah, pretty much fits that.
Yeah,
But
Have to play some blue-white flyers.
Yeah, not too much more to say about it really. Next card.
Ooh.
Dun dun dun. Tezzeret the Schemer. Weird name. Schemer. I don't know. Anyway.
Kind of annoyed they used the good name for the Planeswalker deck. Master of Metal.
Yeah, that's a cool name. But yeah, anyway. 2 blue and a black for a Tezzeret Planeswalker with 5 loyalty when he enters. That's pretty good, 5 loyalty. You +1, create a colorless artifact token named Ethereum Cell with tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. -2, target creature gets +X neg X until end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts you control. And then the ultimate -7, when you get an emblem with at the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 5/5. Jeez, this
is going to be an interesting one. I mean, 6 loyalty is a lot. I think the first thing to note is that when it comes down in pluses, 6 loyalty is big. And in the deck that this would be put into, that -2 should be able to help protect it pretty well.
Yeah.
So I think this has a good chance. I've been sort of brainstorming a little bit around a blue-black tap-out control, sort of an artifact control deck where you not so much counterspell based, but more, actively doing things.
Yep. So
this could definitely create a deck and be in a deck with some of the other improvisers in blue and black.
Okay.
Yeah, he does create little cells for you to power your improvised spells, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's going to be very hit and miss. Like, he's either going to find his shell and he's going to be excellent, or he's just going to be completely crap. Like, he's not going to be like Gideon, where you can just throw him around anywhere. He has to have a very specific role in a specific deck.
Definitely.
It seems like he would benefit from just a more refined pool of cards. So maybe like Modern or something like that. I don't know how good a card like this is. I'm not that knowledgeable on artifacts, but he looks like a lot of fun to play and seems like just a really sweet card. I like, obviously, your -2, I suppose. Maybe you can buff one of your dudes, you can kill their guy. It's a nice option to have. But his +1, unfortunately, doesn't really impact the board.
Yeah.
That -7 is an interesting one, and that's the sort of ultimate that can eventually end the game, because they're making 5/5. An artifact becomes a 5/5, and it's permanent. It's not an until end of turn. So each turn, as long as you have a new artifact in play, you can make more 5/5s.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. And it gets to the ultimate very quickly. That's something else.
Yeah.
So they're going to want to do something with it. So I don't know. We'll see how he goes. I'm keenly looking forward to that one. And our last card for this video is Tezzeret's Touch. 1 blue-black for an enchantment aura. You enchant an artifact, and the creature gets base power and toughness 5/5 in addition to its other types. When it is put into the graveyard, when the artifact is put into the graveyard, return that card to its owner's hand. So scissors with an upgrade.
Yeah, Return of the Giant Scissors in Soul Artifact. And you get some value back if your opponent just kills your 5/5.
Which they will have to do if you do this early.
Yeah.
Or die. Particularly because we have Ornithopter back, which we'll see a bit later on. We have Ornithopter back in the set. This is exactly the sort of card that would be going into that Tezzeret the Schema deck. You can make an Ethereum cell and then turn it into a 5/5.
Yeah, you're right.
And then get it back in your hand.
Wait, token.
No, it puts the artifact back in.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you caught on.
But yeah, you get your Ornithopters back. If there are enough little artifacts around, which we have to do a bit more investigating, but if there are some artifacts around, you can see that happening.
I'll be honest,
I see what you did there.
When it came out, so many disgusting decks with scissors in it. There was.
Yeah.
Please tell me we don't have.
I think it.
Darksteel Citadel, do we?
No.
Not yet. Wait till I'm
Oh, good.
All right. So that does it for our blue cards.
I imagine.
No.
Do you play this in limited?
If you've got enough artifacts. Look, it was.
I know there's going to be people who are going to play this and just try and kill you on turn 7.
I'm probably not. I'm probably not, but Ensoul Artifact was kind of a thing back in Origins, I think it was.
I'm just trying to check what rarity Ornithopter is printed at.
Pretty sure it's
protect your. It doesn't actually protect your artifact. Like, if you have a vehicle that has a relevant attack effect, can you use this to protect it? Like, what's a Smuggler Sculptor? I don't know if that's a thing.
There are a few, and that's a good point you make there. If you've got something that needs to attack to have a trigger, this still gets that trigger going for you because it turns it into a creature. Even just something like there's a mobile garrison when it attacks, untap another target artifact or creature. So you can still get these triggers, and it turns your vehicle into a 5/5. You no longer need a creature. So I think this could see
you will get it back.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe something to think about.
Yeah.
Seems fun.
Okay. So that's all of our blue and part blue cards for this one. We'll see you guys in our next set review coming soon.
Yeah. See you guys.